Hey everybody, and welcome back to CyberDen Systems. I am Den, and today, as promised from the last video, we're going to be going over the NZXT Grid Plus version 2 fan speed controller. We're going to be going ahead and opening up the box. As you can see, I haven't even opened it yet, so it's going to be an adventure for me as well. We're going to be going over what's inside the box, what it's supposed to do. We're going to go ahead and throw it in nasty back here, my network TV tuner / network attached storage. And we're going to see if we can get that noise volume down a little bit because it's really loud in this room. And we're going to go ahead and do some temperature readings. And then we're going to go over some final thoughts and see if this is going to be just right for what you're looking for a fan speed controller. So let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, here we are. Now we're at the box. Let's see what we got on the box. We got a picture. It says Grid Plus V2 digital fan controller on the front. Gives you a brief overview of the software. Oh, by the way, if you guys don't have the NZXT CAM software yet, I would highly recommend you going to their website and downloading it. It shows you every single last temperature, your fan speeds, your usage, all your network, your memory, everything. I'll put a link in the description so you guys can get there easily. I would highly recommend this over any other type of hardware monitoring software. So that's the box, basically, standard box. Let's get this open. No, I don't have a giant whip-out knife like everybody else seems to like to have. Right, open the box. Alright. Wow, that's actually a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. Alright, we have the easy setup guide. Just set them off to the side here. So here we have, this is the actual unit itself. It is really small. I thought it was going to be a lot bigger. Like, look at that. Fits right in the palm of my hand. This is going to leave hardly any footprint at all. It looks like there is an LED on the top of it, however. So if anybody has, you might want to put this out of the way if you don't want an LED glowing in the background. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fan headers. So that's a total of probably about 12 fans altogether. We have the power input and the micro USB port. What's that? What type of cables do we have? We have, okay, here we go. This is the one that'll plug into the unit itself, right here, like that. And then this is going to plug into a USB header on your motherboard, so that way you can use the CAM software to control each of these individually. And let's see, what else we got? We got the power cable. Okay, I don't know why they went this route. Seems like there could have been an easier solution. But anyway, it's powered off of a Molex connector off your power supply. This will get plugged right into there, and there's your power. One thing I do want to point out is I hate Molex connectors. For one thing, this only has a power and a ground, and it's probably going to draw hardly any amperage at all. And if I'm not mistaken, both center pins are ground. One is 12 volt, one is 5 volt. So why do you need this giant connector just for these two little things here? A lot of cases don't have too much clearance in the back of them for cable management, and you got to throw in this whole bunch of giant Molex connectors. Yeah, I think we should get rid of Molex connectors. That's just my opinion, though. And what else do we got? We got some zippy ties that are probably going to break. And this looks like 2 splitters. Let's see if we can get that open. And yep, it comes with 2 splitters. So straight off the bat, you can plug in 4 fans and only occupy 2 of your controllers. So it's going to come in handy. And some 3M Ziploc tape, which we're probably not going to use anyway. We'll see. And some silica gel. Remember, do not eat the silica gel. Then we have the, let's see, easy start. Whoa, so much for easy start, huh? Oh, that's Japanese. No, connect all your chassis fans. Download the software. Okay, looks fairly straightforward. You mount it. You plug it in with power. Plug your fans in. Download the software and get started. So that's the unboxing. Let's get back to NAS-T and see what we can do about putting this sucker in. See you in a bit. Okay, so here we are with NAS-T. I've got the front panel to right panel removed so you can get a better shot of what's going in here. I just want to go over a quick little view of what this thing has in it and why it even exists. The reason that it exists is because I wanted a way to get rid of a little bit of the money off of my cable bill. So I eliminated the DVR service and the rental fee for the cable box by using a TV tuner. This is the Seaton Infini TV 4 with a cable card from Verizon, my provider. And then I have it networked to the entire apartment, so that way this one and the TV out in the living room, I watch my TV through Skylake, and all my DVR is done on Skylake, and on this one as well. And the other reason that this exists is for all of my large files, my videos, my pictures, all of that stuff. I did not want, before Skylake, what became Skylake, I had all of my hard drives in a tray in there with all of them stacked up on top of each other, and I didn't like the way that it looked. And I'm also a hater of cables. I'm a freak when it comes to cable management, and there was 4 SATA cables plus the power cable to power all 4 of the drives. And I wanted to find a way of eliminating as many cables as I possibly could. So, a network attached storage was my solution. Now, this has also gone through a couple of transformations. I had it in a Cooler Master Elite 130 case recently, and I had a little micro ITX motherboard. This guy actually, this one from ASRock. This was a $50 motherboard. It was a $50 processor. The memory, KLEVV Neo memory, 8 gigs. It was like $50 for this, $50 for this, $50 for this. So it was $150, and here you go. This is everything I needed for network attached storage. So when I updated Skylake, I had all of these extra components that had the G1 Sniper 3 motherboard, the 2600K processor, the water block, 8 gigabytes of KLEVV genuine memory, and you know, some tubing, fans, power supply, the hard drives from the previous NAS build. So I decided, hey, why don't we make something that looks pretty? And I could put this into the other room so I can watch TV in there as well. So that eliminated the TV tuner from Skylake as well. So I ended up having to add a graphics card to it. So this is the AMD R9 380. I got it on sale over the holiday for, I think it was like $160 on sale for Newegg. It was supposed to come with a $30 mail-in rebate, which I'm a little disappointed that was not included. I still have to get in contact with them if that's even still viable. And it didn't come in a box. The actual graphics card box came in a brown box. The static bag was sealed. It had all the accessories and the driver disc and all of that. So I wasn't really too griping about that. It worked. There was no scratches on it or anything. So I just threw it in there. And I of course bought the EK water block with the back plate, the EK reservoir here. I got a new pump top, a drain, and some new tubing and some Alpha Cool fittings, just to make it look pretty. It's way overkill for what it actually does. I did need the graphics card, however, because for watching the TV, I kept throwing me errors about needing a graphics card, so I just bought this graphics card. I threw it in there. And the other problem I've been playing the new Assassin's Creed out in Skylake. However, it kept throwing me errors that the driver is out of date, and I'm only going to be playing at 30 frames per second for maximum performance. You need to update your drivers. However, with the new AMD Crimson drivers, I have 2 AMD R9 290Xs in Crossfire out there. The new AMD Crimson drivers no longer support TV playback, so it was either update to Crimson to play the game, or keep the old Catalyst drivers so that I could watch the TV. So I put the graphics card in here. I now have the older Catalyst drivers in here, so that way the TV playback is supported, and I was able to update the driver on Skylake to the new Crimson drivers, so that way I can continue playing my game at the best performance I can. So that is basically why this is even in existence. That way I could have my TV tuner on both of the things and still be able to play the Assassin's Creed game over there. Now, this is really loud, so I'm not going to bring the camera too much closer, so I'm going to go ahead and shut it down, and I'm going to be right back. We're going to turn it around, we're going to take it apart, I'll show you the back of it, we'll go over the cable management and all that stuff. and then we'll go ahead and get the NZXT Grid Plus on there, and we'll go from there. Alright, let's get this shut down. See how much quieter it just got in here. Yeah. And this is the back. This is where the ugly is. I'm gonna call it ugly. See, I've got all the cables nice and managed up here. The power cables for all of the drives, they're all custom lengthed. They're actually very easy. I can go over that in another video. Just leave a comment in the comment area if you want to know how to, custom make your own SATA power cables, custom length, which is actually very, very easy. Cable sleeving, I'm going to try doing some cable stitching too to get them nice and neat so we don't have to use any cable combs. Here's where all of my Molex connectors are, the evil Molex connectors. And yeah, alright, let's figure out where we're going to put this thing. Where did I put that? Here it is. Okay, so I'm thinking, this is so gosh darn small, you can basically put this anywhere. However, I want it somewhere where it can be easily accessed. Like for instance, right there on top of the power supply. Get to both sides very easily. Power, that one. Alright, that looks like a good spot to me. Looks like we will be using the Velcro tape. Good practice is to clean both surfaces with a little bit of rubbing or a little bit of isopropylene alcohol. That will clean up any of the dust or any oils. You can see right there, for example, see how brown that is. This will clean up any oils, so that way it'll give the surface a nice clean surface to grip to. Okay. Clean both surfaces. See that? This is brand new, and I'm already picking stuff up off of it. There we go. That's going to give it a nice clean surface for the adhesive to grip to. Now, I only have 4 fans, and this controls up to 6. So what we are going to do, we are actually not going to use any splitters. That way, it will cut the amount of cables down. And we're going to orient it so that way the USB and the power cables are facing forward towards us. So that way we can easily access them as well. Now, let's go ahead and do some tidying. Cable management is always one of the worst things to deal with when building a computer. Molexes, because one manufacturer makes one side, another manufacturer makes another side, and they're not always 100% identical. purposes of this video and speeding things along a little bit, I am going to basically just plug this in for the time being, and I'll come back in here afterwards and clean it up a little bit. Okay, she's all plugged in. And the moment of truth. Okay folks, here we go with the software side of things. Basically, you want to go to just Google NZXT, choose the first one, it'll bring you straight to their product page. Then you want to hover over products, go to PC monitoring, and click on that. Bring you to this download page, little goofy guy on the top. Click your download, go ahead and download it, which I already have. Go ahead to your downloads and the installation file and go ahead and install it. I have already done that, so I'm not going to walk through that. It's basically, you've done it a million times, you click next, next, next. The only caveat is that when you see the screen that asks you to install additional software, just click the Grid Plus and it will go ahead and install the drivers for your new fan controller. It's also going to give you the option to sign in. All you have to do is click remember login information and continue as guest, and then it will not log you in. And now this is your dashboard. Now one of the basically it's showing you your CPU temperature and your load, your graphics card temperature and your load. That's right here. Down here you have your memory. This is how much of a load you're using. 21% of the memory is being used. Firefox is currently using 197 megabytes of it. You know, it'll give you all this little detail. Here's two of your drives, like my SSD you used in free space. The other drive, you can click this to show any other drive that you have. Like for instance this one, here's my used in free space. You can go into, well, let's do the grid first. First you want to go to grid. That's what we're here for. The grid, here's the grid. Here's all 6 of the fan controllers, the fan headers on the Plus device itself, and you can go ahead and change fan mode. Now here's all of them. I'm currently using 1, 2, 4, and 5. So if I click on fan 1, here is fan 1. I can set different fan modes, whether manual, silent, performance, or set a custom. I've chosen silent because I want this computer to be as quiet as possible. Now you can set it so that it's checked to the CPU temperature or the GPU temperature. And over here is where you would set your custom fan curves. Like this is what it currently is now. Like say at 45 degrees Celsius, my fan speed will be 50% at 50%. And you can go ahead and change that if you want to. You get a little more aggressive, a little less aggressive, and that's that. The same thing applies to all of your other fans. You can do that for each one of them. And if you go ahead and press Control and press and hold Control, you can select, you know, different ones. So you can actually set, like, you know, do a whole bunch at the same time, or as opposed to doing one individually. I have preferred to have all of them mapped to the CPU temperature and all on silent, since that's, you know, the graphics card. Graphics card isn't going to get that hot anyway. I'd rather have the CPU. Because I will get to that in a second, because that one seems to be running at a high speed all the time. Now back in the dashboard, you know, we're back here at the dashboard. Down here, you can also choose your fans this way. It'll only show the ones that actually have fans that are occupying that header. So 1, 2, 4, and 5. And then you can just do a quick mode change for those each ones. It shows you how much watts it's pulling and the fan speed. I don't understand this one right now. I'm sure that'll get fixed in an update. Like say this one, here we go, 960. And then if we go, so that's probably about it for the grid section of it. Now let's just go take a look at more of the advanced features of the actual CAM software. If we go into advanced over here, it will show that right here is all 4 of my CPU cores. I can go ahead and select one, and I can see the history of the temperature, the load, what application was using how much of it, and how much of a load it was on it. This is the current state. See 3.5, 1.22 volts, fan speed. And then you just click back and then you can go to, you know, click another one. You can even go back as far as an hour. If you do want to go back further than that, like say you want to go back a day, you do need to sign up for an account, because that information will get uploaded to their servers, so that way you can go back and review it, you know, a day or even a week in it, or a week behind. And it's going to save everything. I have chosen not to do that because, for one thing is right here, your network. This actually shows you, you know, your upload and download speeds. My upload speed was 300 kilobytes. My download was 300 kilobytes. That's what my peak was at the moment. You can go back an hour and a day. Now, I'd rather not have NZXT see my network traffic usage, you know, what's currently going in, because it actually shows you over on this side, you know, what's uploading and what's downloading. I'd rather not have that on somebody else's computer. So, not that I'm doing anything shady, but it's just, you know, I'd rather not. And if we go further down, you can go here, like here's your GPU temperature. The same thing applies. You can go back and look at all of this, all the different times, everything on your motherboard, your memory. You can do all of the same stuff here. Hard drives, you can choose which hard drive. It even shows you the firmware and the power on hours. Like for instance, this hard drive has a total of 4,234 hours of on time. And you can go in and do all of the other ones. It'll show you 3,000 hours, and like I said, your network traffic. Now if we go up and we go back to the dashboard, let's scroll up a little way. Okay, so that's that. Now if we go to expand, now we can get a little even more of a detail. Here's average temperatures, current, minimum, and maximum for all the temperature, all of the cores. Here's my top CPU speed, my multiplier, bus speed, voltage. Here's everything for your graphics card, your motherboard, your memory, your hard drive, your network. Everything is right here. If you go into here for your specs, it shows you everything about everything that's in here. You can see I've got the 2600K Sandy Bridge 1155 socket. Stock frequency is 3400 megahertz. Here's my graphics card, the R9 380, the motherboard, the RAM, all your hard drives. Everything is here. Click on Top Apps, and this will show you the most recent applications and how much it's using on your CPU, your memory, and if you're reading or writing to your hard drives, it'll actually show you what it is that's doing it and at what speed it is doing it. So that's basically it for that. One other neat feature as far as signing up for an account is concerned is this one, Manage Computers. If you do decide to go and sign up for an account, you can monitor up to 4 computers remotely using the CAM software and the NZXT servers. So say you're in your bedroom and you want to see what's going on with the computer out in the living room. Well, you can go to here and you can see all of this information about the other computer right from, you know, this dashboard here, and the other way around. So that's actually a neat feature. However, I prefer, you know, I'm not going to be doing that. And up here in your notifications, it'll show you can do things. You go into settings. Let's go into settings. Here's your account, where you would sign up for your account. General, your English, interface color, you can change that. Let's say blue. There we go. And you can this even has a frames per second overlay for when you're playing your games. You got your frames per second, your average, minimum, maximum, your memory usage, CPU, GPU. You can decide what you want to display, where you want to display it, what color you want it to be displayed, and size. You can even change the font, the different font. Scale font to the resolution. You can set your shortcut keys for moving the overlay and turning the overlay on and off. Here in notifications, you can say you want to be notified if your CPU has hit, say, 90%. You would just tick this, move the scroll bar to 90%, and you'll have a pop-up notification letting you know that your CPU is being used to 90%. The same thing for your temperature, fan speeds, GPU, load, temperature, and your hard drive. It's all there if you decide you want to get notified of any of that stuff. And I believe that's going to basically sum it up for the software side of things. Again, go to the NZXT website, download this. If you haven't already, I would recommend do it. Even if you don't have an NZXT product, I would still recommend this software. It's free and it will monitor anything. I would recommend this software over any other hardware monitoring software. And I'm not sponsored by NZXT, so that is my actual opinion. So that's going to sum it up for the software side of things. We're going to finish up this, and then we're going to get back to more stuff. And we'll see you in a bit. Alright folks, so that's going to about wrap it up for today. It is about 4:45 now in Pennsylvania where I'm at, and I've been at this pretty much all day. Not bad for my second video, right? If you notice the difference in the video quality, I started using a buddy of mine let me borrow his Hero 3 Plus, the GoPro, so I've been giving that a try. And as far as this is fan controller is concerned, the Grid Plus version 2 is a great fan controller. It's very small, very easy to hide, easy to install. The software is easy to navigate and tweak your fan curves. Even if you don't have one of their products, having the software by itself is great for your hardware monitoring program, and it's free. And for $30, you can't go wrong with this fan controller. Really, it's really easy. It knocked my noise down a lot. Now I know that there are other ways you can go into the BIOS and you can tweak your fan curves in there, but the BIOS for this motherboard, as far as fan controls, is a little bit janky. So I wanted to get a little something a little bit more automatic. So I went with this because it was $30. I mean, you can't go wrong for $30. If you're looking for a great fan controller that's run by software, I would definitely recommend this. Pick it on up. I'll drop a link in the description. And as always, make sure you like and subscribe for all the more stuff that's coming along in its way. And we will catch you in the next video. Then out.